Hi, my name is Miles Ratcliffe, game designer and co-founder of Chaos Publishing Limited, and I am here today to give you the opportunity to contribute and pre-order copies of our upcoming release, Medieval Mastery. Medieval Mastery is a board game of tactical conquest in which 2 to 6 players assume the roles of provincial lords of France as the country erupts into a war of succession. In this conflict, you will send your brave knights forth to conquer the surrounding lands in an all-out struggle to claim the throne. Let's take a closer look. In a game of Medieval Mastery, you will be using your personal reserve of dice to represent the number of knights you have in a given territory. Each knight represented by a point on the face of a die. You will start the game with 6 knights, distributed evenly among your castle and any adjacent homelands. The territories in the game are used to construct a map of the medieval lands in which players will engage in battle. Each territory has a particular victory point value of 1, 2, or 3, as well as its own special abilities. The aim of the game is to be the first to control 13 or more victory points worth of territories. Players attempt to do this by advancing outwards from their castle and ultimately engaging the other players in battle. In battle, both the players involved draw up to a hand of 5 cards. They then simultaneously play a conflict card from their hand face down. These either have a value between 2 and 5, or, if a player is feeling lucky, the result of a die roll. Once these cards are revealed, each player adds the value of their own conflict card to the number of knights they have in battle. They are each given the chance to improve on their combat score by playing any number of support cards from their hand. The player with the highest total combat score will win the battle and retain control of the territory in dispute. But this is not all. At the start of the game, each player will randomly be dealt 1 crown, 1 scepter, and 1 orb. These artifacts will grant the players special bonuses and abilities to aid them throughout the game. During a player's turn, that player will get an additional 3 knights in their castle, and will then make 1 advance into an adjacent territory on the map, by first redistributing their knights in any way they choose. Also during a player's turn, that player will have the opportunity to play resource cards from their hand, either providing them with more knights, more cards, an additional advance, or even the chance to temporarily disable their rivals' artifacts. To be crowned king, you need to plan your moves effectively in order to gain the most advantage among the other players. But be warned, you are not alone in your quest to take your rightful place on the throne. A game will usually take between 30 and 60 minutes to play, depending on the number of players and your familiarity with the game. There is an incredible amount of replayability in just one box. Not only are players given a random set of artifacts, but the map is created by randomly placing a number of territories into a particular map configuration based on their victory point value. The amount of components included can even allow for multiple games to be played at the same time. Want to run 2 3-player games, 3 2-player games, or even a 4-player and a 2-player game simultaneously? Well, you can. Now, not many games can say that. I initially came up with the idea for Medieval Mastery at the end of 2009. After spending the following year heavily researching into the gaming industry and further developing the game, I co-founded Chaos Publishing Limited, and Medieval Mastery underwent extensive development for a small initial release at the UK Games Expo, June 2011. This was the first edition of the game, and only 200 copies have ever been produced. As this edition received such a great response from its release, we then decided to move to a larger scale production of 3,000 copies, with multilingual support, improved artwork, and high production values. After lots of hard work, lessons learnt, money spent, and even a few delays along the way, we now have the new multilingual edition in production, ready for its initial release at Spiel 2012. Now you've heard about the game and our story, so what brings us to Indiegogo? Well, we've put a lot into producing the game to high standards, as well as into preparing the game for its initial release at Spiel 2012. Because of this, we are now very low on funds and have very little left to help further promote the game, as well as deal with any unexpected costs that may arise as we move towards worldwide distribution.
We have also had plenty of interest from people wishing to pre-order this edition of Medieval Mastery, and the Indiegogo platform allows those people to do just that. We have a lot planned for the future and hope you choose to contribute to our project. Thank you for watching and for all your support.